Here we are once again on another adventure to the thrift stores on our quest for video games. I'm hoping this go around I find some decent stuff, or really at this point any games I don't have, because lately I haven't been finding much of anything. It happens, but whatever, let's get started. Right off the bat, I found this Yamaha PSS 170 keyboard from the 1980s. It's not in super great shape, but nothing a good clean won't fix. It was only $8 and it works perfectly fine. I've actually been wanting one of these old keyboards for quite a while now, and for $8, I feel it's worth it. Wait, I didn't know Legends of the Hidden Temple had a board game. The show was amazing back in the day, and I think they tried to revive it a few years back, and I don't know if it ever took off, but man, I loved this show when I was younger. Not sure how this translates to a board game, though. I don't know what's going on lately. These Goodwills have been loaded with collections of porcelain dolls, and even though I am very much into horror and scary shit, there's just something about these porcelain dolls that really freaks me out. Nothing really all that special here, but they did have this Mlb Slugfest loaded game by Midway. I don't really recall which Slugfest game was the one famous for being horrifyingly buggy. And normally I don't buy sports titles, but it's a Midway game, and it's in the arcade format, which I thoroughly enjoy, versus the simulation type that I end up getting bored with after like 1 or 2 games. This Salvation Army had a better selection of games, yeah, mostly sports like usual, but there was Simpsons Road Rage, Seek and Destroy, Fable, and Civilization 4. Of course, the problem is, I already own all these games. Swagman for the PlayStation. I don't believe I've ever heard of this before. And based off the looks of it, something tells me this game is not common whatsoever. And just for that alone, and the fact that I don't own it, I'm absolutely going to buy it. And problem is the disc is sorta in rough shape, but nothing a resurfacing machine can't fix. They had a sale going on for all the CDs, so it only ended up costing me 99 cents. Now, I almost bought that Gunship title until I realized very last minute that I already own it. I should really keep a list or some shit on my phone, that way it's not a guessing game. Most of the time I can recognize a title just from the looks of the cover. I tend to have a really weird photogenic memory, but not always though. Once in a blue moon I end up buying a game I already own, but the chance is like 1 in 100. This is a Yamaha DD55 electronic drum pad. It's kinda neat. I've always sorta wanted to play around with one of these just for, shits, and it comes with the foot pedals and everything. Just one issue, the volume dial is missing. It's a shame, cause if this was complete, it would actually be worth around $80 to maybe $100, considering it had both the pedals, the power cord, and a stand. That's both cool and odd. It's a computer mouse in the shape of a motorcycle helmet. It looks really old and strange, and on the top right it was originally $35. I don't know, it seems to be like the most elusive thing in the world. I cannot find this exact model anywhere online. Hell, maybe this thing is worth some money. I have no idea. A lot of games at this location, but at the same time, a lot of games that no one cares about. They also had this Game Doctor, otherwise known as the Skip Doctor. It's a very cheap resurfacing machine. I remember owning something like this back in 2005-ish and recall it completely ruining anything I put in it. I could have been doing something wrong at the time, but regardless, I absolutely refused to use a game doctor over any real professional resurfacing machine like the JFJ Easy Pro or the ones they use at rental and video game stores. Unless you have like giant chunks taken out of your game discs, those professional machines always tend to work really well. There's a couple games in here I might snag. There's a Dancing with the Stars and that You Draw game for the Wii. They're tagged at $1.50 a piece and they're both brand new. For that price, I don't give a shit what it is. If I don't have it and it's brand new, I'm going to buy it. Even if it's something as mundane as Dancing with the Stars. Nothing really to care about with the games here, but they had a double feature of the first two Rush Hour movies featuring Jackie Chan and Chris Tucker. The third Rush Hour sucked a wet fart, but man, the first two, I love them. I'm definitely gonna pick this up. There's something really unsettling about this Mr. Pickles plush thing. Something more unsettling is that a 35-inch plush of this cost $80 brand new. Why? What the hell is it? And why would you want it? A Soundmaster keyboard for $15. This one's pretty cool since you can plug it into a set of speakers or even plug it into your computer's mic jack to record audio. It's in really great shape and works perfectly, however, I wasn't really digging any of the tones or voices that this piano was able to produce. The drums were great, but outside of that, nothing really stood out or sounded all that good to me, so I'm gonna pass on this. I haven't been to this Goodwill location in about 2 years. The game prices, for whatever reason, have doubled since then. Probably because this Goodwill in particular is a hot spot for resellers. I don't remember if I told this story in the past, but this is the Goodwill I went to where some fat piece of shit poured all of the DVDs and games into a couple different carts and went by scanning the barcodes one by one with some device to see if they were worth anything before putting the DVDs and games back on the shelf. It pissed me off so bad, and that's part of why I don't go here anymore. Of course I told the people who work here, but they just said there was nothing they could do. Oh, it's an everyday bro Logan Paul backpack. The fact that someone bought this is enough to make me want to blow my brains out. Although, to be fair, whoever it was got rid of it, so maybe there's hope.
Do you think it works?
Here's a black Nintendo Wii with no cords, no sensor bar, or controllers for $20. I don't know if it's really that great of a deal at all. Disc Replay has a shit ton of these consoles with controllers and all the cords for about $40. Unless your system is broke and you just need the system itself, I don't really see any point in buying this. So final stop here is actually a Disc Replay by my mom's house. I've never been to this location before and Jesus Christ, it's like double the size of the one by my home. The game selection, however, was around the same as the one back home, although they were lacking in the newer generations of consoles like PS3, 360, and newer. However, unlike the one back home, this location has a lot more retro games. Like, there was Atari Jaguar, Philips CDI, Sega Saturn, and Master System games. They even had a bunch of strange controllers and peripherals for retro game systems as well. It was definitely cool to see, and the prices on the retro titles didn't seem all that bad. I've absolutely seen worse at flea markets and even garage sales. It's probably my least favorite game in the franchise, but for a few bucks, it might be worth picking up. Boy, do I love the Dark Cloud games. $10 isn't too bad for a complete black label copy. I already own like 3 copies of the game, so I don't need a 4th. I desperately want to get a Dark Cloud related tattoo on me to add to my gaming sleeve. Just not sure what I want to do yet. The game holds a lot of memories for me, and I could not recommend checking them out enough. They are fantastic action RPG games and fairly difficult too. Next to Luminous and Tetris, Octo Mania is one of my favorite puzzle games of all time. The English voice acting is one of the worst things ever created by man, but the gameplay is so much fun I could easily look past that. I remember buying this game for $1 at GameStop however many years ago. Well, we ended up walking around the place for like 30 minutes, and I had 4 games in my hand, and I was about to buy them until I bit the bullet on a Nintendo Switch for $240. I deeply considered not buying it because I didn't want to spend that much money at that time, but I just said fuck it. I really badly wanted to play Smash, Splatoon, and Mario Odyssey again, so whatever, I'll just work overtime or something, it's not a big deal. And with that, we bring this adventure to a close. This turnaround was definitely better than the last couple. I found some games I didn't own, including that strange Swagman title. I got a keyboard and a fairly cheap Nintendo Switch, so I can't complain whatsoever. Unfortunately, the flea market series is still on hold, only due to the fact every single time I'm in town, it's fucking raining. But I am planning on heading back in a few weeks, so hopefully the weather is nice again, because boy do I miss going to the flea markets. It's so much more fun, honestly. But till next time, everyone, thank you all very much for watching.